So just admit that you're broke and you guys can't afford to date the types of women you want to date here, because I'm sure there's a lot of women would date you that would probably split bills with you, but that they're not as attractive as you might want them to be. But it's because you're not able to afford really attractive women.
Are you a loser for going abroad to date? Or is it more cost effective and just a better experience? Let's get to it.
Dating outside of America.
I'm at the ATM right now. I just took out $5K. This equals about $90 USD. We're gonna see how far this goes. Philippines prices always shock me. I got all this for like 15 bucks, including the delivery. And honestly, this is just the beginning of the day. Surprise! Next, we have an at-home nails and lashes service on the way. I got her the full hookup, all from the house, so she could watch her favorite shows. I've never bought anything like this in America before, but here it was pretty reasonably priced. I told her to dress fancy because I had a surprise for her. The Uber was around $5. We went across town. At this point, I didn't want to spend any more money, so I tested to see if she would still be happy with a 7-Eleven dinner.
And that's how you know that she's there for you. If she's okay to eat wherever, go wherever, right? And so far, from what he's explained, like all that stuff out here would have been a few $100s. So it's crazy, right? And if he's making a Western salary, then you're living like a king. So it's kind of a no-brainer, right?
It's fine. He already bought me a bunch of stuff.
There's one more surprise. This 7-Eleven actually has a hidden bar inside of it. It's really great. You know, you did a good job when she's posting on her Instagram story a bunch. She was so excited. She actually said she had a surprise for me and she was going to take care of the rest of the night. You could call me a passport, bro. You could call me whatever you want, but I left America to make my life easier and happier.
I think people that do it in this kind of way is what it's meant to be, right? This guy's got a good guy. He's out there, living his best life, right? He's probably working for a Western company, and he just kind of created an amazing life for himself where he doesn't have to spend much, but he could still do whatever he wants and still treat his wife or his girlfriend really, really well, okay? And she doesn't seem entitled, right? Because she's like, it's okay to go out to 7-Eleven for a meal. And some of the girls out here are like, hell no, right? Even a coffee date. There's a lot of people, I remember on social media talking about how coffee dates are like a no-go. So if a guy offers that as the first meetup, then it's like, don't even date this dude. It's like, it's crazy, Like, I don't get it. But yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer for me. What do you guys think about that?
So I saw a video about this passport bro guy on Instagram, right? Showing like a little vlog of him taking his girlfriend out on a date. He started off the video by taking out like $80. He was showing how he's spoiling his girlfriend, right? Like he got her like a lash service and like nails. And then he said, oh, I'm gonna test her after I did all this for her to taking her on a date to 7-Eleven. She's like, oh, I love it. You do so much already for me. And inside the 7-Eleven was like actually like a restaurant, like a club inside. And it was like a cute little club. My thing is, I commented this on my video. I'm like, and also he spent $80 on a date, like $80. Like,
that's amazing. Okay, where the hell can you find that, especially in the States or Canada? That's impossible almost.
Come on. And I commented, oh, I get all this from men in the US and Miami, like you guys are just broke and don't date beneath your means in the United States, so you guys go to other countries to be able to afford the women that you want to date instead of working hard to afford the women you want to date in the United States, right?
So what makes her think that he's not working hard? This guy probably has a really good job. And even if he were to make 70K, 80K, that is that amount of salary in USD or like CAD, for example, or even euros, is going to take you a long way over there. Clearly, she's jealous. It's pretty evident. This guy is getting a lot of value for his money over there. And clearly, he found a really good woman in the process, while she's out here complaining that he's doing that and trying to call him broke for doing it, even though he probably has a way better salary than she does.
As you guys can expect, so many men got mad at me. Are we surprised that they got so emotional? My point is, and you're never going to change my mind about this, currency for women is looks and beauty, and currency for men is regular currency, like money. The society that men built for us, doesn't matter if a woman doesn't have any money, but if she's pretty, she's gonna be able to get ahead in life, right? But if a man is ugly and he works hard and he has money, he's gonna be able to get ahead in life, like finding a wife. So instead of this man working harder to afford the woman that he wants to have in the United States, he cheapened out. He went the cheap route and then went to another country to find a girlfriend, which
And again, guys, this is the type of girl who's going to go on a bunch of dinner dates for the entire week or the entire month and lead every single dude on. They'll buy her gifts, they'll take her out to expensive restaurants, and in the end, they get nothing in return. So this is the kind of person that you're hearing from right now with her nose done. Clearly, her nose does not seem natural. She probably had a thicker or flatter nose. She got her lips done. Her chest is done as well too. Everything's fake, fabricated. It looks all processed. And she has the nerve to say this. It's crazy. Always look at where the message is coming from. This is just ridiculous.
Just totally fine for him, right? The thing is, the men in the comments were coming at me for saying that I expect this kind of stuff for men in the United States. This girl and I are the same thing. She's expecting nice things too. She expects her man to pay for her lashes, nails, get her flowers, take her on amazing dates. The only difference between...
I don't think she was expecting it in this case. I think she just kind of got it as a surprise. She seemed a bit surprised by that. And that's what I think when it's a genuine relationship, when she actually likes you for you, because he took her to 7-Eleven, she was cool with that. That's like a really genuine, she looks like she's interested in him as a person. When you, on the other hand, are looking at what can you get in return? How much money is he spending on you? And Miami cannot be compared to any other part of the US or any part of the world even, because of how, with the concentration of people with super exaggerated salaries, what they make out there is not what everyone makes in other parts of the US. So you can't compare it. And the way she looks like, obviously, to a lot of dudes out there, she's attractive. Yes, she's attractive, right? But what did she do to get to that point, right? All the money spent on surgeries out there. So, yeah.
Between her and I, or women in the United States and her, is that these men are able to afford her. They don't have an issue with her wanting those things. They have an issue with the fact that they can't afford.
She wrote out here, she wouldn't be with him if he wasn't spending money on her. I don't think so. And when you say spending money on her, does she mean flooding her with gifts and that kind of thing? Or just a general, like, going out for dinner and going out for a movie, or just going out to a place where you could just chill together, by the beach or whatever? That's normal. I think that's like the standard when it comes to going out. I think she's referring to spending money, like taking her out to get her, her lashes done or whatever she did, right? Her nails and that kind of thing. Those are extras. That's not a general thing that you do all the time. When someone like her probably expects that. And that's what she's referring to, I think, when she said, like, spend money on you, right? Spending extra, right? For no apparent reason, just because she's existing. That makes no sense.
Afford it in the United States, but they can cheapen out and do it in other countries. They were calling me all these slurs, saying that I'm an HOE, that I'm a gold digger. And her and I date the same. We date the same type of men that we want providers, do things for us, like taking us to nice dinners, pay for our nails, like take care of us and be a provider. But you guys are mad at me because you can't afford it in the United States, but you are able to do it in Thailand or Vietnam, right? Like $80.
That was in the Philippines.
Is not a lot of money. $80 is what I spent on like a lazy Wednesday night where like my mom and I are like, hey, do you want to go get some tacos and like margaritas or something? And we go and spend $100 on this. Like we're going in sweatpants and like a t-shirt. Like that's like $80 is like, it's not like a big thing. It might be a big thing for you, but for a lot of people in the United States,
that sounds ridiculous. That sounds absolutely ridiculous on a lazy Wednesday. That is so crazy. Even if she were to be making $80K, that's a stupid thing to do, to spend $80 on just a random day. So what the hell does it look like on just like, on days where it's a bit more extravagant? Is it like a few $100s on dinner? That's ridiculous. And obviously she's not paying for it. Maybe that dinner with her mother, of course, but the dates that she's going on with all these guys who are spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on that, like that money could be used to invest, right, in index funds and just for your long-term security in life. Why would you want to waste it on someone like this person right here who wouldn't even take you seriously? Like, she'll leave you in the drop of a dime. Like, if she meets another dude that makes a bit more money than you, who has a better six-pack or whatever it may be, right, a bit taller, you're gone, man. You're gone. And all that money that you invested, what was that for? It was for nothing. On the contrary, the other dude who's in the Philippines, he's spending money on her, right? But he's spending enough money to make her happy and still make his wallet and his bank account still feel happy, right? So I think there's a huge contrast. She's kind of delusional in the way that she thinks that if you're not spending hundreds of dollars on a girl in the States, you're not making it, you're a loser type of thing, you're broke. I don't think so.
It's kind of an average, regular meal out. It's not like a big fancy meal. They're not going over there to date women that are working hard and paying 50-50 and they're like manteniéndolos a ellos. They're going over there to do the same things they would do in America, but they can't afford it, so they go to another country to do it. So I don't understand why I'm a gold digger and why women in the United States are gold diggers. They want the...
I don't think women in the United States in general are gold diggers. I think someone like her is clearly a gold digger. It doesn't get any more, evident or obvious, right? By the way she's talking, what she's expecting out of people. She's clearly someone who is with people specifically for status, money, and probably looks as well too, because that does play a part.
Same things. It's just that you are able to afford it there and you're not able to afford it here. Imagine.
And by the way, guys, $80 is like going to Cheesecake Factory, all right? And that's just a normal day for her. Like it's just like nothing. When for most people, going to Cheesecake Factory is something that you would do on a special occasion, right? Who the hell has money to spend like that? $80 on a normal day. So what? On other days, you're spending like $300-400 on dinner or going out? That's ridiculous. That is not smart. You're not being smart with your money if that's the case. Even if you're making a lot of money anyways.
If a conventionally unattractive American woman was saying, oh, I can't find a good looking man to want to date me, so I'm going to go to another country and I'm going to pay him to go out on dates with me and whatever, you guys would be coming at for that woman saying she can't find nobody in the United States who she can't afford, and because she's not pretty, she's not a conventionally attractive woman. So just admit that you're broke and you guys can't afford to date the types of women you want to date here, because I'm sure there's a lot of women would date you that would probably split bills with you, but that they're not as attractive as you might want them to be, but it's because you're not able to afford really attractive women. So the problem...
So basically she's coming from the perspective of, if you don't have money, you can't date her. And that's exactly what he's running away from, because he wants a genuine connection with someone that's not going to break his bank. So that's what a lot of these guys are running away from. Obviously, there's going to be bad apples that are going out there for their own weird reasons. But for the most part, I think the first guy, he's a good guy. He seems like a good guy. He found a good woman. And that's something that he would have never found in a place like Miami, for example. If he's got to deal with people like her, right? That's just my opinion, of course. But that's just what I'm gathering from what I've seen so far.
The problem isn't women in the West are asking for too much, is that you're not able to afford it, so you go do the same exact things that women in the West are asking for and do it in a price that you are able to afford. And just admit that women in the West don't have a problem with you doing whatever you want to do, because we're not looking to date broke bums. But just admit that you're doing the same shit you would do if you were actually...
What do you guys think she's referring to when she says broke? I'm assuming, to be honest, like what I think she's thinking like is 70 to 80K, for example, of her is broke. If you're not making like 200K plus, even 100K for her might be broke. If she's talking from a Miami perspective, I think even 100K would be broke to her. She's probably talking to guys that are probably making 200K, 500K plus. Who knows, right? But I'm thinking that that's where she's kind of referring to, because the guy that we saw it in the beginning, I'm assuming, if I had to guess, right, if I had to just kind of ballpark it, I'd say 70 to 80K, around there's what he's probably making. And that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Not only for here, but out there as well too.
Rich in the United States, you're doing it in another country just because you can't afford it here.
Benefits of dating a foreign woman. Foreign women are usually very feminine, submissive, don't act like they don't need a man, don't act like man ain't crap, and definitely don't act like their lives would be better without a man.
I think he's talking about the previous woman.
They usually carry a lot of traditional values that men love in women. They're very family oriented. They are not all over social media. They do not post themselves for money like OnlyFans, and they're usually very much on the lines of listening and want to be a better woman and perfect wife for their man and a perfect mother for their kids.
Well said. That's all I gotta say. Well said. Leave your comments in the comment box. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.